with the whole week this week? What was your high moment this week?
What's my high moment this week? This week was a good week. We had quite a bit of rain.
All right. We're not rain in Jamaica this week?
Yes, we got some rain. As bad as we got some rain. I think the highlight of my week was we had an opportunity to speak with the chief medical officer about this vaccine and this COVID thing. Not a public conversation, but it was really enlightening for locals who had the opportunity.
Dr. Basil?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, she had just had her vaccine, and she was sharing with us her experience. It didn't hurt at all, but then what would she say?
Okay.
That's like me, you're well afraid, and afraid of any nigger. When I'm afraid of vaccine, I just said facts, so we have to get an injection. That is sometimes a little bit scary to us. But other than that, it was a good week. Went down to Mandeville. Lost a church member, Mrs. Beryl Morgan, quite a stalwart in Clarendon.
Beryl Morgan?
Beryl Morgan. I think she was about 90 or thereabout.
Okay.
Quite a stalwart she was in the church and in the community. She was secretary at the parish council at one point in time as well. So, to her children, condolences to Stuart and Camille and Cecile.
Okay.
Yep. So we're here. We're live yet?
Oh yes, we are live. Hi, boy, you can't chat him and Jesus. You take me off of my game completely this morning.
My gums, you never even tell me something live.
You look good. You look good because you better look good now because we're live. Yeah.
I never look no better than this.
I want to say good morning to everybody. This is Leo Gilling on the conversation with this morning, and we have somebody missing. I have with me the co-host for the show, me, one of the co-hosts, Dr. Dianna Davis Smith, and she is, we never really, a long time we don't introduce ourselves, right? You are the president of the Catholic College of Mandeville.
Yes, I am Dianna Davis Smith. I am the I'm the president.
the Catholic of the president.
College of Mandeville. Yes, I'm the Catholic College of Mandeville president. No, I'm not the bishop yet.
Gosh, it's a Saturday morning. It's a wonderful Saturday morning. And according to Diana this morning, they had a lot of rain in Jamaica this week. And her high point was having rain. We're missing our poor Michelle this morning. She's under the weather, and she says we can't have a good time without her. That's what she said. She said we can't have a good time without her. Are true that?
I don't know how true that is, that we can't have a good time without her.
This morning she said we cannot have a good time without her. And me prove her wrong. We're gonna prove her wrong.
Difficult. Are you hearing me?
I hear you quite clearly. I hear some things back at you. Me hear pata boil and all them things there.
No, well, I never boiled no pot this morning. It was one of those lazy mornings. So it was a lazy Jamaican breakfast this morning.
You can cook. Diana, you can cook. I am just asking a question. You can cook.
We're not going to answer it. Anybody who out there watching, come answer Leo and tell them if me can cook. What a piece of liberty if you ask a good upstanding Jamaican woman if she can cook.
All right.
Michelle, me need my lawyer. Michelle, me need a lawyer.
Since you can cook, what you eat for breakfast this morning? Tell me. What you eat for breakfast since you can cook?
I can cook, but it has nothing to do with what I had for my breakfast this morning.
Oh, you mean it have nothing to do with nothing? You have everything to do because it means that if me come in your yard, I'm supposed to get good breakfast in yam.
Yes, we get yam and banana and kidney and all of that. If you peel the banana.
No, I want to show up. I just want to show up. I don't want to come there when the pirates dish them up on the table and I just want to show up. What you eat for breakfast this morning?
Well, this morning I had 2 slices of brown bread, and between the 2 slices of brown bread, I had a half a ripe plantain, fried, burnt, and nice and sticky and sweet.
You burn up.
Yes. And I never burn up. It burn up deliberately. That was a frying of it.
All right.
Egg, put it on top of it and slap them together and I drink it with some busy tea this morning. Oh.
You can't drink busy tea? What do you have to drink busy tea when you're sick?
No, you have to wait for sick for drinking.
Oh. Okay.
You have to sick for drink busy?
So hold on now. The bread where you eat, the 2 pieces of bread where you put slap on, right? A slice soft bread, don't. I know the real Jamaican, because the plantain can't taste good with American bread or not. Plantain only tastes good with Jamaican hard bread. So you tell me.
Well, it wasn't the traditional white hard bread, but it was good Jamaican brown bread come from National Weekend. And you open
you cut it. It never comes slice up. You cut it, right?
Come slice us. It come me like.
Oh no. So you see me talk about this is you say you're a good Jamaican cook, but you can't tell me about your cook planting an egg and slap on 2 slices pre-sliced bread.
Yeah. You have to be precise in the slicing of your plantain. You have to get the pot at the right temperature before you add your oil and a little piece of bad butter.
What kind of oil? How much oil you go buy?
You put oil and then you put a little coconut oil and put a little bit of margarine in there so that it get that flavor. You have the timing is perfect. You think cooking is an easy thing. I bet you. What you eat this morning? Drink.
What
you drink?
The thing is, me no hear you say a big jill of oil you use and cook this in. Me no hear the big jill yet. So tell me the big jill thing. The big jill.
2 tablespoons of.
Jesus, you must murk a picnic. You must murk a picnic because they don't measure nothing at Jamaica. Tablespoon.
This is abuse. I am not.
I'll know, Diane.
Please come and rescue me.
Me don't know what tablespoon look like. What is a tablespoon?
The big spoon where you used to eat your dinner with when you was growing up.
Oh my God!
Please, my dear friends, come and say that I can cook. No, rescue me.
All right. Jamaica, the big spoon implies the second largest spoon, right? So you have the little one with the sugar. What that name? Another tablespoon, that one.
That's the teaspoon.
Teaspoon, all right. And then you have the big spoon. But then I want big spoon.
That's a cooking spoon.
That's the cooking spoon. All right. So you know how we stay. You know how we stay. When the time we want to show that things are extra large or bigger than they are, or very, very dramatic, we use 3 of the same word. Big, right?
Not a big
or full, right?
Can't full no more.
Can't full no more. When you go 4, there's nothing names on. You can't go 4. Big.
Maximum.
Yeah. Maximum is 3. Yes. Right? I want to say good morning to everybody. This is a show where we have fun, but we talk about the issues of the day. We look at the news of the day, and then we make comments, and we make we provide insights, and we ask you also for your comments and your insights. Yeah, I turned this thing here. Some people already up online are talking. So here is Michelle Fanger, the first person.
Her voice. Her problem is her voice, but nothing wrong with her hand.
But she's not qualified to be a listener. Is she qualified to be a listener?
I need my lawyer. Michelle, please speak up for me there. Don't you can cook? Yes, Sandra says, Sandra Sterling have it right. She said, which Jamaican can cook, and most Leo one can.
Here's some person, his name is Mark Polo, says, good, all black countries need to do the same she has always been racist. What is he talking about?
Oh, about the queen, you know, have a funny said
Oh, oh my God. I am so embarrassed. I am very, very embarrassed. I am super embarrassed. I'm so Mark, forgive me. Please forgive me.
Just like how you can cook.
What? Oh, you want to know what I had for breakfast this morning?
Tell us, Leo.
You sure you want to know?
Tell the people them for they need to know so you cannot cook.
I had 1 slice of white hard bread and coffee. I am finishing up the coffee right now.
All right, Leo.
And guess what kind of coffee it is?
Jamaican coffee.
It is Jamaican coffee. I live in Florida. And you never tell me, see you drink coffee with your 2 slices of bread slap on between.
I'm really not a coffee girl. I'll have a cup of coffee every now and again, but you know, some people just have to start them day. If they don't have coffee, they're mad. They are, you know, like.
All right, so let's take on Mark Polo, right?
Okay.
Michelle, so me can't cook.
Thank you.
Let's take on Mark Polo. What's the topic? Let's read that article, because I was so embarrassed what Mark says and I didn't recognize what he was talking about. So you have the article on Barbados?
Yes, I do. But Sandra says that it's early in her neck of the woods. Sandra, tell us where you're at.
Which way Sandra? She's at California.
Okay.
She's in California.
Pick up and go run foul and all of that.
Cock no crow don't say it.
I tell you. Barbados to remove Queen Elizabeth as head of state. And this is an extract from BBC News. And it says, the time has come to fully leave our colonial past behind, the Caribbean island nations government said. Let us read that again. The time has come to fully leave our colonial past behind, the Caribbean island nations government said. It aims to complete the process in time for the 55th anniversary of independence from Britain in November 2021. This year, Leo.
This is this year.
Yes. A speech written by Prime Minister Mia Mottley said Barbadians wanted a Barbadian head of state. You know
something? I love this woman, you know. I love her bad. I think she is the ultimate leader. She's the ultimate. She when she says things, she does it. You know, I love her for that, you know. And
she's very measured in her talk,
very measured and very convicted. I mean, she is, when she speaks, you can't do less than listen to her, because she talk facts and she lay it out in a way that you understand it. And whenever she speaks, she go back it up with her action. Me love her bad. The best prime minister that Barbados ever have.
A tree bad they use there. Bad.
Yes. Maximum. You can't get no better than that.
Maximum. Prime Minister Mia Mottley, if by chance you're listening to us, please note that Leo love you bad.
Thank you.
Everybody know. and we all love and admire you too.
That's the goodest.
You don't get no gooder than that. So this is the ultimate statement of confidence in who we are and what we are capable of achieving, this speech read. Buckingham Palace said that it was a matter for the government and people of Barbados. A source at Buckingham Palace said that the idea was not out of the blue and has been mooted and publicly talked about many times. So said the BBC royal correspondent.
So why, Diana? I'm sure you did some reading on this, right? But why is it so hard for our country to leave Britain behind? I mean, why?
We're too beggy.
Me now go ask you to qualify that.
Well, I don't know. I think it is a matter of process. I don't know what the process is. Clearly, Prime Minister Motley has gone through that process, and it perhaps would be more prudent for us to invite somebody from with such knowledge from foreign affairs or some other affairs to tell us what is the process and why is it that Barbados can be making such an announcement to do it by August 20 by November 2021, and we still are just talking along the trenches about it. I don't know. I really
What
don't.
is it? What, okay, so I know that our final court of appeal is the Privy Council that sits in London, right? And,
Yes.
and that's some kind of representation from the Queen, right? Somewhere, is that am I right there? And,
Right. So it would
that's
be the final appeal. Once the Queen is the head, then you go to the Supreme Court,
oh, it's over
or
there.
you could go to the Caribbean Justice.
Okay. Yes, I know
Court,
that we have that option
Caribbean
too,
Court of
but we don't
Justice.
use that, right? Do we?
No.
We don't use that. Here's a gentleman. His name is Donovan Jones. He has a long piece here. Let me read it. He says, Barbados is just chatting. They will remove Motley before they give up their cherry tree. They are subsidized by England, have over 40,000 expats there. Most of the villas are Brit owned, hotels and businesses. I tell, let me take this up a little bit further because I'm having some trouble reading it. She says, I tell my around I'm sorry, Donovan. I tell I mive around lots. They are hooked on Britain. Those who are citizens told me
He
I'm
moves
British.
around a lot.
Oh, I move. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Barbados is ill Brit. It won't.
Little Britain.
It's little. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Me can't read. Me can't read. Okay, it's Little Britain.
Yes,
So
it's
Barbados is Little Britain. But
yes.
isn't Jamaica Little Britain too?
No, Barbados is really very British, because back in the colonial days, the masters would the plantation owners mainly resided in Barbados, whilst they had the plantations out
The various Caribbean isles.
in the various territories. But Barbados was kind of the English for them. That was England for them.
Oh,
So that's why it has that name of being Little England, Little British, because
oh, okay.
because if you go to Barbados, the finest antique furniture you can find, quite a bit of it. Who would be a good person to talk to about this Barbados perspective? Some Bajan. I wonder if we have no Bajan nearby.
So let me, it would be nice to have a Bajan here, but all right, but they have the same system of government as we do, where they go to the Privy Council for their appeals. No,
Yes.
do they? Yes.
And so answer that question.
I don't really worry about the Barbados, what they are. I'm more concerned about Jamaica, what we are and what we can be or should be. Now, should Jamaica remain what remain under the British rule in terms of our appeals, or should we create our own appeal? There's I think a gentleman by the name of Panton who addressed that recently to Judge Panton. I think he addressed that recently in Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, but it seemed like we are so far advanced, but as soon as it comes to appeals, we fall backwards beyond 1962, and we're English again. I mean,
I don't know. It's probably more than just appeals. Clearly, there's a process, and I don't know. I just think we'd probably better serve having somebody talk to us one day as to what would the process be, and what are the implications outside of simply the court of appeal. What other thing would we be giving up? But
Okay.
the truth is, if I was a governor general, I wouldn't be feeling so very cushy here this morning.
Here is Ann Collins. The UK doesn't do anything for Jamaica except interfere in its legal process. Jamaica is part of the Commonwealth, yet its citizens can't enter the UK without a visa. Tara one says Jamaicans were born ready. There's nothing you can't do. Yeah, I agree. Michelle Fanger says, I think Jamaica is equipped to handle their affairs without the Queen. I know they are, but I just wonder why we still depend on that. Donovan says, the Queen has no say in the Supreme Court. She makes no political decisions. Oh, well, I think we know that, but the Queen herself, but the Privy Council is still there, Donovan. Right? And so it's kind of hard for me to think that it's taken us 60 years or 1962, 59 years so far, and we still have not, gotten grips on our own legal system, as it were.
The truth is that we for things we not get grip on here right now. Because I don't think that we get a grip on the COVID. I don't think we get a grip on the education system that we have in Jamaica. I don't think we have a grip on the policing practices that we have to endure. I don't know that we have a grip on the price increase. So somebody was reading an article separate said we must gear up the price increase, but the price has gone up already. We don't have a grip on that.
But I don't. I am the type of person who believe that we should own our own totally, even with the problems that we have. Because the only way that we are going to solve our problems in the future is if we go through them ourselves. And so I think that, I can't depend on somebody else to resolve my problem, because it means that I may have the same problem again later on, because I'm not getting a chance to resolve my own. So I need to resolve my own, go through all of the pain and all of the issues that comes with being born, just being born, newborn, and thing coming out of the belly. I want to have my own flus without the flu shot. I want to have my own cold and cough and all of that, my mums and everything, and grow with the growing pains, so that when we come later on, I'm ready, 20-year-old, 30-year-old, I'm strong like a bull. Right? That's what I like.
I would say that you're a stupid man, because if you have an opportunity to learn from what has been done, why would you want to go through those same pains and those same errors? If there is a best practice, why would you not want to employ that best practice?
But the research would tell you that the body develops great immune system if it goes through all of these things. And so your immune system is much stronger. So as you get older, your body can withstand more. I was telling someone yesterday, I was speaking that I used to catch flu like often, right? And I always knew that the flu vaccine was always out there for me to take, but I never really took it until 2009. And they injected the flu vaccine in 2009. I never have flu again. I've had all different kind of stuff, but I not have flu again from that. So me take the flu vaccine again last year. I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about the COVID vaccine. I'm talking about flu vaccine. Regular. So now, because those antibodies are inside the I and I, now I and I get a chance to defend. My structure get a chance to defend. You know what I mean? But if I never had it inside of me, then I can't defend. I get weak.
So the I is supporting the COVID vaccine. So
yes, I
more about the COVID vaccine.
Yes, I am. I is supporting the COVID vaccine in a big way.
Yes. All right then. So on the matter of COVID vaccine, and an couple headlines from the Loop Jamaica News. It says Health Ministry will monitor persons who have been vaccinated. It says problem with AstraZeneca vaccine, Europe, but not in the region. It says fewer than 1% of Jamaicans experience adverse effects of vaccine on day 1. All right, so let's read that piece of it. And so it says, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has revealed that 12 of the 2,718 people who received COVID-19 vaccines across the island on Wednesday, fewer than 1% had adverse reactions to the jab. So nothing.
I don't worry about the adverse reactions because it's just going to be a pain in your shoulder. That's right, it.
And that's it. You know, you sound like doctor. That's exactly
because I've been there. I should have got a doctor office. I should have got a doctor university. Yeah. But at the same time, though, some kind of breach took place, right? Mm-hmm. Because there was a headline that I read this morning where somebody jumped ahead of the line. And
really?
Yes, there was somebody. If I could,
that is so strict.
Yeah, there. You know, we always seem to have a breach somewhere.
There's another breach, so there's a data breach. I know there's a COVID vaccination. Michelle, you can find that article for me, sir.
Michelle, yes, please, Michelle, find the article. Listen, your even though your mouth or your voice is gone, Michelle, you need to be able to throw these articles and these headlines onto the thing so we can see it. Okay. The only thing. Oh, I'm sorry. She jumped off of the topic really quickly, but there's someone else. Her name is Naila Ashley. Says the only thing the Queen do is cost Jamaica money. We wouldn't have to support the Governor General. No comment on that one.
Mr. GG. We're getting a little grip ready now.
I do something now. I'm getting do something now.
Yeah, you remember them doing.
Yes. But I think I sent me a income from, so we can't bash him. I sent me a income from. We're Governor General.
Where you come from?
Yes, I think I sent me a income from.
I sent me an over. Look like we're advocate. Said back barrel down there. Nice.
So let's talk about the line jumper. How do you set up a strict system to have vaccination and somebody who's not supposed to be in the line got in the line and got ahead and got vaccinated, and I mean breach of protocol? How do we get? How does that happen? Only Jamaica.
No, we can laugh about it, but it is a real serious thing, because let us assume that this individual might have gotten the shot before and perhaps of unsound mind or a little bit.
No, man.
And then they head back in the line again and get the shot twice. That could have implications. So I use that to say it's an unfortunate incident, and I trust that the protocols will be strictly enforced going forward to avoid such instances. Rather unfortunate, but we've had so many unfortunate things around this.
Let me see if I can get the gentleman from England. He's talking to me. His name is Donovan Jones. He says, I am going to try link you with the second head retired. Okay, that's great. He wants to bring him on, somebody in London, so that they can speak on this matter. Donovan, if you want to come on, let me know. If you want to come on the show and talk to us about England and defend England and the Privy Council and the Queen for us here. Let's see. Nadine, good morning, Leo, calling for the Zoom link. Oh, Nadine is coming on now. I wonder, I sent the Zoom link already to let's see where it is.
Your head go and come.
My head gone, yeah, true. She's
He needs some boost. He should have drink so busy this morning.
Lord have mercy upon me, cuckoo. My mother would have said,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, me cuckoo.
Hey, Coco, bad, you're mad.
Right, okay, where's Nadine now? All right, here we go. So we are supposed to be joined by Nadine, and Nadine is sitting in, it's attorney Nadine Atkinson. She's supposed to be sitting in for Michelle. So this morning, Michelle, we when Michelle said she can't come, I said to her, okay, Michelle, can you find somebody else to replace us? You know what she said? I just 10 minutes, me just announce, say, me can't make the show. I know already I replace me.
And tell the public what you did. Tell the public.
Tell them, say, Diana caused it. I didn't want to take that one at all. All right, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are crazy on the show, so sorry, if we came off topic a little bit.
I want to. We've spoken about the Queen and thing. But I want to go into our Jamaican, and we talk about my Jamaican sandwich. Me want to ask people what was them go-to sandwich growing up. If you know did have sandwich, because me know say enough house never have no sandwich when you not grow up. So
Diana, you really want to get back on this cooking thing? You really want to talk about?
Because there are people out there who can cook.
Where do you live now currently?
I live in Jamaica. I live in Kingston.
No. Kingston, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't cook because only country people can cook good food.
But I come from Clarendon.
We don't know about that. We know you live in
Kingston. People out there who know me, come and tell them that me come from Clarendon. I went to Four Parts Primary School. In fact, I went to Trout Hall Primary School for a few years, my earliest years. And then after that, we went to Maypen, and I went to Four Parts Primary School. And then I left Four Parts when I passed my common entrance, and I went to the noble institution called Clarendon College.
All right, so them have home economics there.
Yes, and I was a good student at home economics.
So that's where you learned to cook, right?
No. My mother was a social worker and home economics. In fact, she studied home economics at Tuskegee Institute. So I grew up cooking. I knew how to make wines. I was making.
So why is it then that you are cook this morning if your mom taught you well?
Yes, but may her soul rest in peace. But it's a little injustice to come cook and fry egg this morning. But she would have agreed that it was a balance. I was telling her,
I love to talk about this. I was telling a friend of mine that I did not eat a lot of plantain when I was growing up because I never rich enough to buy plantain. Plantain was much more expensive than banana, right? And I did not have like ackee and saltfish. Or ackee and saltfish very often. We had ackee and pork because salt pork was. Huh?
Then that better.
But okay, and I was telling her that my breakfast Monday to Friday, and people want to listen to me carefully, okay, is bread with butter paste on it, right? And lemon leaf tea or soursop leaf tea. That is my breakfast going to school every Monday to Friday. The only thing that we were sure of in my house, right, was porridge, probably 2 or 3 times a week, right? Cornmeal porridge. Once in a while we get banana porridge. Once in a while we get plantain porridge. But we never had the type of breakfast when we see us serve now with liver and all of them kind of expensive. They're not expensive thing. You understand? So we don't have the kind of experience that you have, where you can fry egg and you have plantain and you throw it on 2 slices of soft pre-cut bread. We never have pre-cut bread. We have broke bread. So we just broke it and put the butter upon it or dip it in the butter or something and we're gone. All right.
I would have much preferred to have had bread that I could have broken, Leo, instead
of Leo.
Leo instead of You see me, I give you uptown name Louis.
So me talk about uptown. Here's somebody took me on a Rose, take me on. She says, Roseman. She says, I am from Kingston. I'm a great cook, even though I've lived in the United States for 40 years. My mother taught me and taught us well. Lord of mercy. She take me on. We grew up on banana.
Thank you, yeah, Rose Martin, for saying that. Two fritters, two flan flour, whatever you call it. What are the names that are peculiar for Jamaican food? Like fritters, saltfish fritters. We call it stamp and go.
Fritters.
It's called stamp and go.
That American name. That must be American name. The name of the stamp and go.
And it called flan flour.
And a flan flour that.
So what's flan flour, Leo? You too lie.
What is flan flour is what sell outside a school gate in the people flan flour case.
But it's fritters.
No. It could be pudding. It could be fried dumpling. It could be cupcake. It could be bulla.
It's fritters. I'm going to ask Basil. Basil Dawkins, please come on the show and answer the question. For you must know. Tell me what is flan flour. For flan flour is not the content of a man cabinet.
Yes, is the content of anything was sell inside of the cabinet.
That's not true. Michelle, that cannot be true.
People want to help me here because me not understand. These Kingston people don't understand a thing.
We not know Kingston people. We come from country. Flan flour is fritters.
No. The only thing.
You must call everything in the people.
Because they sell everything inside the glass case so they cook on the yard and can't come down there. That is flan flour.
No, that flan flour is fritters.
Where Jennifer Bennett come? Tell me where she come from.
What?
She says flan flour is fritters. That Jennifer must come from Kingston. I bet Jennifer come from Kingston.
Jennifer come from country. She know flan flour is fritters. Or you must call the collective grouping of pudding, flan flour, greater cake, drops, flan flour. Those all have their specific names. Greater cake was in the show.
No man.
Drops was in the group, and it was greater cake with brown.
Anything what the people them cook in the yard and put in the thing. Hold on there. Heather says it seems that people from different regions in Jamaica call the same thing by different name.
Yes, and flan flour are fritters, or flitters, or fritters. No, I tell you, make me look like me. Next time you maybe lose me like working people and say, oh, but she has no knowledge.
No come from Kingston. When I no come from Kingston, you know, so somebody say, somebody say, no, Leo only knows how to burn down in kitchen. She knows a little bit about me then because I burn down my kitchen 2 times in my lifetime now. One time with me, yeah, fully burned down.
Tell me about that, though.
You want to hear the story?
Yeah. So you come right one player, Basil.
When I moved to California, I was dollar poor, very dollar poor, and so I had to work 3 jobs. 2 security guard job and 1 customer service job, and all 3 of them was paying me probably about $9 an hour, and I had to.
In total.
Okay. And one was $4.25, one was $3.25, and one was $2.75 or something like that per hour.
One moment, because I want to say to people. You see the kind of hard work that people have to go through when them go to foreign. 3 jobs to send barrel to us in Jamaica and to send food. We must appreciate it. Go on, Leo.
True. And so, you know what happened now? I was moving from job to job to job. I rarely getting any rest. So I bought, because I didn't have any money, I bought a 50-pound bag of beans it's the beans that the Hispanics use. Huh? Pinto beans. That's what it's called. Pinto beans. I bought a 50-pound bag because I couldn't afford anything else, right? And so each day that I come home, I would have 2 hours before I get on to the next job. So I'll use that midday hour to boil the beans. And at some take a little nap, while the beans boil. But I shouldn't nap for more than 10 or 15 minutes. And so this day when I came in, I put on the beans and I took a nap with the hope that in 10 minutes I'm going to wake up, because it normally happens that way. Me never wake up until until me hear like somebody had knocked on my door. When I woke up, the whole place white. And I said, oh, me that heaven. A dream is still a dream. Anyway, I followed the sound and from my room and followed the sound. It was on my door. Someone was knocking on my door. And before I opened the door, I looked to my left to where the kitchen was, and the kitchen was red like I was in hell. So I moved from heaven to hell. Quick. And so I still followed the third sound. And when I opened the door, right? When I opened the door, that fire was coming at me because it got wind. Yes. And man, when I jumped through that door, I could not believe I just got saved by my it was a landlord, the manager for the building was knocking on the door. And so if I'd waited a few more minutes, I'd be out, But I had to go to the hospital for smoke inhalation and all that stuff. But I burned down my kitchen in 1986.
But hold on, Leo. People usually learn from their mistake. Learn nothing.
Me burn it down again in 2016. 2016, me burn it down again. I was frying your planting. And here's what? So funny. Exactly. My teeth a piece of the planting out of the pot. Turn me back on me. It was a fire. Not fire over my stove again.
The oil. Yes.
I called the 911, right? And they say, use the fire extinguisher. Then at the fire extinguisher was right there. But me couldn't find it. It was right in front of me. I couldn't find it. They say it's right there. I said, no, I'm not seeing none. I come to the place. I run out. I run outside. After the fire truck came and everything, and then go back upstairs and I looked. The darn thing was right there. I could have, I just never noticed it before,
That's one come out here, Leo. Nothing wrong with that.
You're Rose Lewis, I thought about that's how you burn down house. You can't cook. Oh my God. Lisa Davis said fla is what we used to buy from Miss. Thank you very much. I love you, Lisa.
She mean not more than that.
I love you, Lisa. Okay.
In the fritters. Oh, Basil coming on, man.
Basil coming on. And I think come on and come talk about flour fritters. Me and him have it out. So nobody come Basil Dawkins, don't come on here and come tell me say flour and fritters are the same thing. Okay?
Flour is fritters without fish.
Well.
Flour have all the promise of fritters, but no fish there in it. No fish there in it.
All the promise of fritters. All the promise of fritters, but no fish.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Leo can cook. I'm confessed that sin already. And yes, confessed further that him burn down in kitchen 2 times. So take house where and give me no kitchen. But tell us, but can you cook?
Yeah, man. I can help myself. I wouldn't die of hunger if there's food.
Well,
there's a stove.
Well, at least you can cook fritters without saltfish. At least you can do that.
Yeah, man. You'll be amazed to know what how creative poverty can make you get sometimes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, man. If I hear Miss Lou say, turn your hand and make fashion, it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing.
Well,
You know, Leo, somebody can come into my kitchen, you know, and say, boy, not that thing no here. And the next person come in the same kitchen and come up with a major meal, you know. Just attitude, man, and approach. Attitude and approach.
True. I was so missing soursop leaf tea a couple of years ago, and I went down to Jamaica on my friend's property, and I saw this. I'm saying, I have to try this. You know, it's one of the best smelling thing for your house. That thing smell up the house and it make your house feel fresh and nice.
You never know that. Never know is that it make you want to sleep. Is a substitute for sleeping pills.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. So what's up, tea leaf?
Okay, you have to tell me which part you grew up. Because you sound like you grew up with your grandmother already. Which part you grew up? Tell us about where you grew up.
My situation has been, you know, that I was born in Portland.
Okay.
When I was about 4 months, I went to primary school. My primary school years in Manchester. I went to a primary school named Pike. I don't know if people remember that. And then now, when I passed common entrance, I went down to Westmoreland and went to Manning's. So basically,
you're poor countryman.
Yeah, basically my life has been up and down all over, because back in those days, my mother was a social welfare officer. And in those days, when you're a government worker like that, you get transferred like police, you know?
Your parents, okay.
I used to be all over the place. But one of the things why I know these things is that I'd always had an interest in folk culture.
Okay.
And anything, like me used to thief and go up and where them have the cumin and the all the various.
Will it right us out? Let me bring Nadine on. Nadine Atkinson, tell me, Nadine, right?
Morning.
That you know that flour is the contents of the cabinet outside a school campus. What do you want to say? Or the man myself? What is flour? What is flour?
I always thought flour was like, you know, little leftovers kind of thing that nobody wanted. That is incorrect.
That's for like a Bombay.
Good morning.
Morning. How is
you have to tell us. That means you grew up a country. You can't grow up a Kingston. Which part?
No, you know, I actually grew up in Kingston, but my grandmother was from country. My grandmother was from Westmoreland. So I have a heavy where that is concerned.
So,
all right.
okay. Nadine, good to see you. But
this morning again.
Basil just defined for us. Basil Dawkins is on with us as well. He just joined because we needed some reference points for things cultural. And so Leo, I had been trying to teach Leo that flour is fritters, but he didn't understand. He said,
Nadine,
never heard that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Nadine.
I've actually never heard that. I guess that's one of those things that you hear in only your part of the woods.
No, it's not. No.
There's four different thoughts here. Four different thoughts. Here are the thoughts, Nadine. She thinks fritters is flour. Well, fritters with saltfish we sell out there, right?
Yes.
Basil thinks that flour is fritters without saltfish, right? Me thinks flour is anything that's sold inside of the cabinet outside of school. And you think flour is leftovers.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Well, perspective is really interesting. We would go to each other's house and ask and talk about something, but my understanding of what it is so totally different from somebody else's understanding of it. And I suppose these differences get us into trouble or it's quite interesting.
Well, Basil touched on something a while ago in touch pan. He didn't call it the right name, and he said Kumina. But I must say, what he probably wanted to say was dead yard or something like that. That's what you're talking about, right?
No, man, all of them. I used to thief away and go to 9 night.
9 night, yes.
Kumina, the Pocomania.
Pocomina, yes.
When them have the thing. And also, there, in Westmoreland, there's also a thing called 40 night.
What?
40 night?
I think, yeah.
Whenever you don't want.
Let me explain 40 night to you. 40 night is 40 nights after the death of the loved one. And it is believed that the 40th night is when they ascend into wherever them go. But they believe when they die, there's a period where they roam on earth before they go into the other realm.
Okay, so
in Westmoreland now, particularly among the Indians, they celebrate that send off.
Okay, we never hear the 40th night. We never hear the 40th night. I heard the 9th night is when they must end. Because they walk around, and that's why when we are going up, those 9 days or 9 nights, we play all kinds of game to run them out because them a walk among us, and we play games and play music and drink rum to run with the duppy.
That is what you do, Leo. But let me give you the kind of socio-cultural context again. First time, when people dead, they never used to have funeral homes.
Right. You put them
so you have to take care of your burying of your dead yourself.
Yes.
And the body, once the person never died at a hospital, which was most of the cases they never did.
Right.
They died at home.
Yes.
So once they die at home, there's a special thing that you put the body in. And then you pack ice on it.
Yes, it's like a little box.
It's like a casket.
A casket, yeah. But you put ice on it. Yeah.
Soldering man that make.
Yeah, man. Soldering.
And they pack that with ice.
Yes.
Now the body can be kept up to 3 days.
Right.
So funerals then usually were 3 days after the death or the 4th day or something like that, because the body couldn't keep any longer.
Right.
Now,
right.
from the death to the 9th night of the death, villagers and everybody would come and keep the company of the survivors. And therefore, and then it was felt that after we keep you company for 9 nights, you can manage my own after. Because it was recognized that there was a level of sadness. There was a level of sadness if everybody, after the 3rd or 4th day, everybody just gone back to their business.
Well, I know some years, what me here, and me here, so the first 3 days, right?
Yeah.
The body and the spirit were still together.
Yeah.
And then after the 3rd day, the spirit start walk around aimlessly. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to come to you, Nadine, because you're supposed to know anything at all. The spirit start walk around. Remember now, the spirit, they don't know if it's a bad duppy or a good duppy. If it's a bad duppy, the spirit walking around will bother us. So we used to play music and dance to run it away. That's what I said. For the 9th night, up to the 9th night, we play what the one with the move the rock around and bullying a pen and all them things there.
But Leo, we are not at cross purposes here because one does not negate from the other.
Yes.
There is just that it's nuance based on which part in Jamaica you really.
True.
There's a little nuancing that goes on from place to place. Basically, it's the same kind of outlook.
All right.
That's
Okay,
really
thank you.
interesting. The different perspectives, and I don't know, but somewhere in between what Leo said and Basil saying, my takeaway is that since I'm burying them on day number 3 or 4, is just about the time when Leo said that the spirit and the body leave. So it really gone for you bury the body, and there's no research.
All right. Let's get back to what we are here for. We are here for a lot of things, and it includes news, reading the news, and also giving insights and stuff. Boy, me say, Dianna, can chat. Jesus, Lord have mercy.
And
two capable persons here who can give insights on some of our thoughts, on some of our news items. Dianna, you have another news item we can read. Basil, what do we call you? Basil, or Basil?
It depends on which geographical area I am in. All of them. You know, Leo, when I'm my mother called me Basil.
Yeah, okay.
Other people call me Basil.
Oh, okay.
And then when I go to like North America, they say Basil.
Basil.
Yeah. Once I know though, I answer. I answer. And once I know it's me, I'll answer.
Somebody said must leave Dianna alone. All right, Dianna.
You're not speaking a word more. You said me talk too much.
You're mute. So Basil.
All right. So we're going to talk. My next piece of item is the Rastafarian priest stand by jail St. Thomas ganja farmer.
Okay. That's a good topic.
Members of the Rastafarian faith group, Ethiopian African Black International Congress, have come out in strong support of Rowan Harris, the St. Thomas man who has accused the police of wrongfully invading his property and destroying his ganja farm in Dumfries in the parish. The half-acre plantation of ganja, which was raided by the police on February 18th, was allegedly being used for sacramental purposes by the church. All right, we can leave it right there.
Sacre what?
Sacramental for sacrifice.
I know what it means. But my question is, what's the law? I mean, I didn't know that they were still burning down weed fields.
Harris, though bald-headed, said that he has the right to grow ganja on behalf of the organization based on the amendment of the Dangerous Drugs Act in 2015, which allows members of the Rastafarian faith to cultivate marijuana on designated land.
Nadine?
Nadine, not Nadine.
A lot of mercy. It depends. It doesn't depend on.
No.
It doesn't depend on which part you come from, right?
That American business. No. I go for Nadine.
All right,
the American version. It was talking when he said it depends on which geographical location. Because indeed it does. But for me, I go with Nadine in every location.
Okay.
Well. There was an amendment to the Dangerous Drugs Act. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up. I should have it actually. You know, we're going to talk about this, but I should have it here. And there is an exemption for persons of the Rastafari faith. I do not wish to speak without having it to hand. So just let me find it.
You don't like having Nadine here, right? Because she come with the facts. All right. So while you come with the facts, more I hear Basil. Basil, I'm accustomed to Basil.
Yeah, man. Say any one of them.
Tell me, what do you think?
My position is that there is still a little ambivalence, and I find that the society and the attitudes and everything in transition still. I don't think even the laws are at a point where they are absolute yet. It's an evolving situation. And when you have evolving situations, things and people are going to get caught between the cracks based on interpretation and understanding And you know, if for example, I don't know what the law says about if you are designated to grow it as a sacrament, how much can you grow, and what determines how much you can grow?
Yeah.
If you are doing it because you're a Rastafari, but all your outward manifestations are that you're a bald head, is it that the Rastas can give you a subcontract for it on their behalf? You know, you get into all kinds of mix up.
Yeah.
Essentially, I think we should, and it's a, as I say, it's an evolving thing. It's a thing of getting clarity, which will evolve, and lawyers will say they are guided by precedent, and things evolve. You know, it's not a static situation. So I would need to know more about that particular circumstance before I would want to even render an opinion on it.
Nadine, your time.
All right, I'm going through the act. Now, there are some amendments to the act that speaks about exceptions. So, for example, it says that if someone is doing scientific research, they have some kind of an exemption. Further down, I'm trying to find that section that would probably be, okay, here it says, the minister responsible for justice may by order published in the Gazette authorize anybody over 18 and who the minister is satisfied is somebody of the Rastafari faith, I'm just kind of paraphrasing, or any such group of persons or an organization that the minister is satisfied actually comprise such a person, can cultivate on lands designated by the minister in whatever order the minister would have given them, for the purpose of religious, I'm going to say this exact part, ganja for use for religious purposes as a sacrament in adherence to the Rastafari faith. So this amends section 7. This is going to be the new section 7D in the act. Well, it is now the section 7D.
All right.
So basically what it's saying is that you would have had to get what is called authorization.
That's what I was asking.
From the minister. And that authorization would obviously have to be someone in writing. It doesn't say you have to have bald head, no hair. The minister has to be satisfied that you are, and this is the word the law speaks of, an adherent of the Rastafarian faith, or any group of such persons or an organization that the minister is satisfied is comprised of such persons to cultivate on the lands that are so designated. So how I would see this going, you put your application in, then the minister gets advice from his legal officers. He signs off on the order, and the order says, John Brown of XYZ place is hereby, this land at such and such a place is designated to cultivate for the purposes of the faith, as a use as a sacrament. That is how I would see that going. Actually, how it works, I cannot tell you, but that is what the law says. So perhaps if this gentleman is going to go to court, there would be the expectation that he has some kind of
authorization. But I sense though that the Rastafarian church is coming to his defense. Is that what that's what the article is saying, that the Rastafari the church is coming to his defense?
But they're supporting him.
Okay, so they have to there has to be for it to be legitimate authorization, that church has to have had some kind of authorization from the minister.
I can't say that church. I can only tell you what the act says. The act, this is how the act stipulates it. So it's just like, let us use the scenario of driving. The police say you're driving without a driver's license. You you are supposed to have gone to the DMV and got the I thought DMV, look at that. You're supposed to go to the tax office, do what you're supposed to do, and go get your license, correct?
Right.
So when you go to court, you have to show when it's your time to speak, if you have a license or not. Same thing I would think would be applicable in these circumstances. The police and they will come and say, this is what happened, this is why we went, this is what we found. We asked XYZ questions, we didn't get any answers, or we got ABC answers. And the judge will say whether or not the man has a case to answer. And
what if he does have a case? What if he does have a case?
No.
What if he has?
Wait, no, listen.
Yeah.
Have a case to answer means that the judge is not satisfied that it may not have gone this way. The judge wants to hear what you have to say, because this is how it goes in court. When you're in court, the prosecution has to prove the case right up until the end. So we start the case in the parish court, because it's going to be a parish court matter. The prosecution witnesses to be the police and whoever else they have go in the box, swear or affirm, say what they have to say, they're cross-examined, and then at that point, the judge examines all of the testimony so far and says, yes, I believe, sorry, not I believe, because she can't believe just yet. I think I need to hear from the defense, because I could still use some, in layman's term, I still need to know what exactly took place. So then the defense takes the stand, as in the defendant, he gives evidence, or he stands where he is in the defense, in the accused box, and says, ABC happened, 1, 2, 3 happened. And at the end of that, the judge finds him guilty or not guilty of the offense.
Well, I'm following you. I'm following you, Nadine. But what my point is, the police goes and they burn down, cut down the wheat field. The guy at that time did not have the authorization on hand, right, to show them at the time. But what is happening now is
where was it?
The church is saying that they have authority. They have the authorization from the government.
That's what the
and
church
they
is saying?
are backing that's what the church is coming to his aid and saying it's sacramental.
No.
Which means
saying, but you notice the words that are in the act. The words that are in the act says that there has to be an order published in the Gazette to say that you are allowed to do this. So Nadine coming and saying, Leo, I told Leo to do ABC, is different from Nadine getting an order from the minister as is required in the law.
but that's what I'm saying.
So
I'm saying
that's what they have.
I am saying that the church would not come to his defense if they did not have the authorization from the minister.
I don't know
Well,
that.
no, I cannot speculate on that. As a lawyer, I do not speculate.
When you have drivers like you drive truck, we say, yeah, well, you can drive.
Yeah.
I don't speculate.
I didn't hear Basil. What did you say, Basil?
It seemed to me that the strength or weakness of that particular case hangs on what Nadine says the law says. That
I know.
If you have this proper written authorization by the competent authority and you show it, you're good. If you can't show it, no matter who else give you permission to do whatever you're doing for sacrament, you're outside of the law.
Okay, I got you.
So we'll see how this unfolds. No doubt it will go before the court, and we'll see how it unfolds.
All right, I'm going to play a devil's advocate again. The church has the authority. They have the extension to the bald man, right? Police cuts down the thing. What will happen if the prosecution loses the case?
Remember now that you always have your civil remedies. So who knows if this were to go, let's say it goes a full way and it turns out that this is not, it is as the gentleman says it is. There are always civil remedies. However, you have to check to see what would be the civil remedies. Because, for example, persons, let's say John Brown was locked up by the police because they got information that John Brown, let's say he had a gun. And they had all reasonable suspicion and they took him into custody. The trial goes on and he's found not guilty. Immediately, John Brown is of the view that he can sue the police for malicious prosecution.
So this is gonna go civil.
No, but that not necessarily, but that is not necessarily the case, because for malicious prosecution, for example, you have to be able to prove that there was malicious ill intent on the part of the police. But
they're probably not gonna prove that. So there's no recourse. So I'm just losing ganja field.
Well, as I said, let's see how it plays out. It should be very interesting.
And I sense that Leo is a little bit concerned for the farmer.
Yes, I am.
Of course, but you have to be, because remember, I mean, people have their rights, so you have to see exactly how it plays out, see what the prosecution have and what this gentleman has as well.
But one of the discussions we had last week, Basil, was that the little man has had his weed field burned down. The little man has had his head busted in two by police officers. The little man has gone to jail and prison, spent time there just because of weed field. Right? No, and they might try to make them think. Right. Okay. Now there's a law that says that you can grow the weed.
Five plants.
No, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you can export it to America or Canada or wherever it is that's gonna go in big chunks, because I saw where the Marleys signed major contracts with some Harvard professor students, whatever they are, last week. And now the big guys, the big institutions are now grabbing up on weed and gonna make big money. And the people who get them head busted and them got jail and prison, I mean, this is a typical case. That's how the people are going to look at it. They're not going to look at it at the law that Nadine just presented quite eloquently. They're going to look at this is just a little man who have him little field, and he might get persecuted by Babylon and a big man make money off of this thing here. Equal.
Such is the nature of our society, sir. That is how things happen. I remember back in the days when Rasta was dirty Rasta.
Exactly.
And they discriminated and vilified and all kind of that until brown people's sons and daughters became Rasta. And then the attitude started to change. Then they mix up now with musicians and there's an evolution, and then you find out say the mandatory sentences for ganja get eased.
Yes.
Remember first time when them catch you with a spliff, you go straight to jail for 18 months.
And get your busted too and kick.
When X amount of Upper St. Andrews sons and daughters start get convicted, that had to be changed. That's not exactly true though. That is not exactly
because remember that the act really changed in response to that young gentleman who was in custody for a spliff, as we call it, and
Mario
beat him to death or something happened, violent happened to him, and he died. And that was a response really to that the law changed, and to be, because the law before did say even an ounce you could face imprisonment.
Once you're
convicted or you plead guilty.
What I think we shouldn't forget though, I like to bring in the sociologic part of it, because law does not stand alone. It's part of the integrated society. I remember part of the discomfort of this mandatory 18 months once you're found guilty.
No, there wasn't. Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
because
man, I'm sure. I
have never met. I prosecuted these cases for years, and I never met.
I'm much older than you, and I worked.
Oh, man, a drunk card! Man, a drunk card!
I'm going back now, Nadine, to when hippies used to invade Negril in particular.
Yes.
And when hippies used to come in thousands just to get ganja.
Yes.
And then you would find that over a weekend, Leo, I used to work in the courts that time. You find that over the weekend, the lockups in Westmoreland full up a pure hippie.
Jeez and
It became
peas.
difficult and impossible to deal with it.
Oh my gosh.
You understand?
Yes.
So what you found after
So that's
time,
in what, the late 60s,
Well,
early
this
70s?
this is 70, 71, 72, 71, 72.
When you come into date, Mr. Basil Dawkins died that asking for years. What
No.
is
We're not going to
Left the man alone. Left the man
I
alone.
remember,
context.
and then now, the question of sending the hippies, most of them were college students and those, for sending them up for 18 months became impractical.
Right.
Because Leo is not 3 of them or 5 of them, you know. It's like 70 for the weekend.
Well, even predated that back in next month is going to be another year, 19. When you know, and I spoke about this last week. Then when the Prime Minister actually sent out to cut off to arrest some Rastaman back in the 1963, 64, somewhere there, because they were considered weed heads, you know, and police go there and beat them up and cut off them dreadlocks and send them to prison and wanted dead or alive kind of a deal, and it's not, you know, the involvement of this thing. It's kind of interesting because at this point in time, we never expect to hear police really chopping down or burning down somebody's wheat field, rather to seek a way in which we can avoid the kind of persecution, because it comes down to that. You know, this is just my personal thing. No, I'm not saying that everybody has to agree with me. It's just that at this time in our lives, cutting down a weed field, burning down a weed field seemed like the wrong thing to do, because there are other people out there that are it's like you're beating down the small man to allow the big man to go. It just don't sound right.
But Leo, this system affords and allows the population to make representation to their member of parliament, their government, and get legislation enacted to protect them. True. If they don't apply some amount of political pressure, you won't get the things changed, and it makes no sense you complain, because if the law is the law. The judge is always going to be guided by what the law says. So if you want something to happen differently, get the laws changed, and to get that, you pressure your members of parliament.
Nadine, you wanted to say something, Nadine. So you have to unmute. You have to unmute.
I agree totally with Basil. You have to, pressure. You have to pressure the powers that be for the laws to change, because, as he says, the law is not in a vacuum. It's a part of the society. Yeah. But unfortunately, a lot of us feel that we are powerless. On some days I feel that way, but on most other days I feel quite powerful, and I think all of us can exert some amount of pressure.
Are the right people in place to change this? Should it be an emotional change, or should it be an emotional pressure, or should it be an academic and political pressure? And do we have the people in place who really would fight for this kind of reform? Because I know
if we have moved from what Basil said to this to a stage where I knew the law when I was prosecuting, to even an ounce, to where you can have a few plants at home and you're not going to be considered to be
Criminal.
a criminal per se if you have a spliff. We can move to another place. There are countries in the world that are moving farther and farther away from the whole issue of criminalization of ganja. Even in America, there's a big push for decriminalizing it in a lot of states. You have the whole medical marijuana.
Colorado is typical,
So,
but it's still illegal federal in the federal government.
Yes, but remember that the difference between America and Jamaica is that they have two sets of laws, as it were.
Right.
They have the state and they have the federal. We have one, and so if we wish to elicit change, then
we need to get parish laws instead of national.
No, not necessarily parish laws.
I'm kidding.
We need to bring to bear that pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems to me we have to recognize, as I said before, the evolutionary development and with the decriminalization and the liberating of ganja. Because remember, Leo, right now in Kingston, Manor Park, all the town centers, you have ganja places where you can go and buy ganja.
I know, in the orchards.
And everywhere. I mean, uptown people go and buy them spliff and everything. But understand this, up to now, you can't use credit card,
It's cash. Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, because no, the bank
is the bank accepting that cash?
No, the bank will accept the cash because they don't know where the cash come from. But there's no system in place where these banks can accept payment or reward for enlargements for marijuana without affecting the relationship with their corresponding international banks.
Right. I see you. I hear you. These damn peace is a whole other. Gotcha.
It's a major.
Let me respond to some of these messages. Here's Michelle Fanger says, the law is the law. She's home. She's fired today, and she's replaced by Basil and Nadine. All right, and the people. She says the people have to fight for reform. They put MPs in power to be their voices, so pressure their MPs. Trevor Wilson says it's time for Jamaica to start moving towards decriminalizing cannabis. They should be leading the way rather than following. It's legal in Canada. It's legal. Homeowners can grow up to 4. Okay, I mean, yeah, I thought it was legal for the major manufacturing of Nancy Brown. There's a pressing issue that Jamaica needs to address to get economy going in light of the pandemic. Removing the queen. Okay, we were through talking about that earlier. It was a good topic.
I want to raise another issue as we speak about the cannabis, marijuana, ganja sector, and people, the young, the small man seemingly being shut out of it. What are your thoughts on the magic mushroom that seems to be invading the Negril St. James area? Anybody hear about it? That there's this thing called magic?
I don't know about.
I don't know about that.
All right, we talk about the Basil. You've heard of it?
Mushroom are going a long time on. But it's remained underground because part of it being underground is what makes it lucrative. But the same cycle is going to attend it. Same cycle.
And I raise it because there's an article in the paper on February 12th that says the Canadian company enters Jamaica's magic mushroom market. And somewhere on one of those social media yesterday, even I saw an article where there was an event that was held for a week out in the grill with this mushroom.
So hold on. Is this an illegal plant? Is it an illegal thing?
Illegal yet. We're not here saying
illegal yet. But I think it's regarded as hallucinogenic and therefore may fit in some category of chemicals that may.
So the law not catch up with it yet. The law not catch up.
Yeah.
Oh, so we can use it as much as we want to right now because they can't get out of jail. No, it can get.
No, Leo, we're not saying that. What I'm
I'm asking.
No, she's talking
There is a
about.
Canadian
Diana is
company
thinking
that
about
has
how we
entered
can
into
commercialize it and make it beneficial to the population.
Beneficial.
How we criminalize it.
Well, we're going to talk about that because there's a lot of activity, particularly in Western Jamaica, around it, where an entire industry is taking off.
All right.
Again, you know,
Nadine, Nadine, you're the legal mind here.
Yeah, but this legal man can't comment on this because I have no idea what magic mushroom is.
Okay, so no, that's why. So the point I'm trying to ask, what I'm trying to ask you is, if it's not, if it's not on our books as an illegal substance, it is obviously then legal, and can you go to prison for something that is not yet on the books?
No, man.
As far as I'm aware.
No, but I'm going to lock you up.
Even though it's an hallucinogenic, even though it's an hallucinogenic, right? It make you feel fuzzy and whatever.
Which law, which act the police going to use for the?
Yes, remember there has to be something to underpin.
Yeah, it has to be
the offense.
Okay.
So what is the offense? That is what we would have to ask. What is the offense? But I don't really know.
Get high. Get high. Like alcohol and drugs.
The police has to be guided by some.
Right, there's what they have to find something on the books. This is what you're contravening.
So right now we have a free territory.
Let's see how this one is going to play out.
Yes.
That position. Another something else that I probably want to do a little spin on Leo, Nadine, and Basil is, as we get more and more into COVID and the adjustments that have to be made by all sectors, there is a call by the opposition, Shooks, and I seem to have lost the article, for the government to allow a ease up on the taxes for computers and tablets and stuff, because we have well over 240,000 children who still don't have no gadgets, who don't have no way to log on online for learning. I'm concerned as an educator that it means for us that we perhaps would have lost or are on the verge of losing a part of our generation, because of this COVID.
The opportunity for advancement, we're losing. Not the generation, but we're losing the opportunity for advancement. Right?
What if the generation don't have the opportunity, then we're not losing them?
Basil.
Yeah, everything stems come back to my root thing, you know. When you're poor, black, and come from a country and nobody don't know your father, you have to suck salt through wooden spoon straight. Basically, it all has to do with poverty. It don't have nothing to do with COVID. There's already a major information gap happening because of who go home to computer and gadgets and all kind of devices, and those who don't have none at all. Them, you know, I mean, I hear that there's a new thing now where you have to have a whole network of investigation to make sure that plagiarism is not, because when people go on the net and say them do research, Google is not a research engine, Google is a search engine. And people are thinking that when they go on the net and just pull off things, that is research. And it's causing all kinds of problems in academia. Some of those degrees and the postgraduate theses and them things is problems, you know. So now they have to, but what I say that to say that the world has changed, and every child in Jamaica that's going through the education system should be afforded a device. That is the reality. No. Remember when I was young and I go primary school, half of the people them never used to wear shoes. The picnic them never used to wear shoes.
True.
Now you know contemplate going to school without shoes and
True.
socks. Understand?
Yeah.
Things have changed. We have to find a way to hasten how we can get those devices into the hands of especially marginalized children and adults. And also, when you do that, create a next problem, you know, you have to make sure that them go up on the right side.
Right.
The same place you find the pleasure is the same identical place you find the pain, you know. So
Yes.
but it calls for addressing. And one of the things that ought to happen is that maybe there should be a relaxing of whatever charges and surcharges, not only taxes, but
Yes,
the level of
indeed.
profit that you make on these educational devices. Because in the long run, it's of benefit to the complete society.
And okay, but there's still a major problem though, because we don't have the infrastructure to accommodate all students having access to internet. We don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, that is a problem too. But you also, one of the things, Leo, is that if you focus and address attitudes, you know, attitudes. For example, I know our church, them come to me for money, for make contribution, for buy devices for them marginalized kids. The other day, the lady come back to me and said, Mr. Dawkins, we're not come back to you for no more money, you know, because you know, their parents them take with the device when we give them for the picnic them and give them their old phone.
Oh God.
And
Yeah.
she said, what we can do about that? The
So there's no law. There's no law that can
change.
change that now. That is attitude, and that is parental attitude.
Yeah,
And
that
guess
is
what?
attitude. But
I've
the
heard
offenders
also
are the
that-
parents.
I've heard also that they're selling them.
Yeah, man, all kind of things happen, man.
Well,
Okay.
I suppose it goes to parental skills. There was an article in today's about parental parenting skills and whether or not, you know, parents ought to be together to raise the children or to be mandated to spend X number of hours together. It was raised by Senator, I don't remember her name.
Well, this is a huge shift, you know, because remember, our kids were accustomed to spending 6 to 8 hours at school with teachers. Now they're home, extra 6 to 8 hours with parents who sometimes don't have the skills to even read the instructions that they're getting off of the net. So we were dependent on the brick and mortar building and a teacher in front of our students for 6 to 8 hours. Now they're not doing that. The 35% of our students aren't having even online classes, and so it's tough to make that shift. You're either going to have to say, parents, let the child learn by themselves, or parent, now you have to take 4 hours out of your regularly scheduled job or 6 hours out of your regularly scheduled job to now pay attention to your kids for those hours that they would not normally be in school. And so it's a huge shift. It's a big shift. So it's a whole heap of things in play that we just got thrown into a pot and everything just boiled up and we don't know which part to stop. It's really a tough place to be.
It has not been easy for anybody at all. It has not been easy for parents, children, government, what have you, this COVID thing. It really is a traumatic event collectively and this society. My answer, Leo, is that much as we suspect the vaccines, everybody must just get drunk. Simple.
Listen, I don't know if Nadine have the joke on her hand, you know, but when me's young, me still have one little uncut. Yeah, so right. Yeah. Everybody was required to get that as a picnic as a child.
But
why?
You know you can't go to school without your shoes.
You can't go to school without it.
Evidence that you got some, what? I don't remember if it's smallpox.
Yeah,
Diphtheria or something.
yeah. So I mean, COVID has the same and worse devastating effect than the others, right? The malaria and the smallpox and all of these things. But we can make it mandatory.
All of them is disease,
So,
and all of them bad. And what we must really try mitigate and at the same time find ways of getting those vaccines into the arms.
yes, I think so too.
But you know, Basil, you mentioned that it has impacted, this COVID has caused everybody to have to do things differently. As educators, we've had to move to a lot of online classes, and you know, training takes place in that virtual space. Nadine, the courthouse is virtual now.
No,
In a lot of spaces,
Jamaica, it is. Oh,
yeah, for some of the cases, like I see that they send you the link, but I know that no jury trials are taking place.
Okay.
That's still not going on, but trials with the judge alone, those are taking place.
Okay, that's in a virtual. Okay, that's in chambers, or that's virtual.
Oh, open court. I've not actually been on any, but you get the notice every week to say if jury trials are going on. So as of Friday, we got a notice. There are still no jury trials going on, but there are bench trials. I don't know how they are being conducted, but I do know that people are logging in on Zoom. But when they're doing the actual trial, I can't tell you exactly how it's going.
What the process is.
Okay.
I don't know if they're doing the social distancing. I don't know. I couldn't say.
I'm going to create a little bit lighter moments for this panel here. I know Basil is in his has been in his career for a long time, and I know that a lot of things are going on with him these days. What's really what do you have going on these days, Basil? Give us some lighter moments. And make sure say make sure say I'm joking like that we can laugh. Okay, all right.
Basically, we went down to the theater one evening in March last year.
Yes.
And we were told, no, the theater doors will not be opened. And they will not be opened until further notice. All right? So, trauma number one. Still old television stations, radio stations, press, everybody. Bam. Everything gone. So we say, okay, COVID is real. And the community, because we talk, people think we compete, but we don't compete. We are friends, all of us. So we call one another and say, where we are going? And everybody said, we could just hold off 3 months, man. This thing we start out by 3 months. And then at the end of 3 months, we came together again. And we said, no, 3 more months. In the meantime now, the government, Minister of Culture, Minister of Local Government who control the entertainment spaces, and Ministry of Health, they are having meetings with us. And one of the ministers said to me, Basil, we don't know when theater will get touched, because you can't perform using masks, you can't social distance, you can't have people singing together and interacting and dancing and sweat up and, So we don't know when we are coming to, you're going to be about phase 5. And right now we're trying to get phase 1 started. So they started with a phase 1, never survived 10 days, because after that, the people violate the beach and violate river, they party, everything, and so it just a total shutdown. So eventually what I decided, and a number of us said, let's see the possibility of doing things virtually.
Yes.
Or we can do things online. And it was a steep learning curve. And we didn't know that we mastered it yet. But I am happy to say that I have reached this point now where I can say we'll have a performance virtually on air on the 3rd of April at 8 o'clock.
Oh.
And it's one of the advantages is that it gives us a worldwide audience.
tell me, okay, tell me.
One of the disadvantage. Let me tell you the disadvantage.
Okay, yes.
One, in Jamaica, people are so suspicious of doing anything online where it require them money. They're afraid, those who have cards, credit cards, debit cards, what have you, they're afraid to use it online because them fees is a scam. And then generally, most of the people don't have credit card, they can't access the online, them can't access the online portal. So, you know, it's again, what can I tell you? It's learning and learning fast. But we're doing it, we are committed to it, and we're encouraging more and more people to go that way. Not that we'll kill live performance, you know, that can't die, but certainly to have something else going so that the whole Jamaican theater industry does not die.
Can I suggest something to you?
Yes.
Because it's virtual, okay? I may suggest to you that you collaborate with some organizations in the diaspora.
Yeah, man, that is part of it, Leo.
Okay.
You can't do it without them.
Okay, because
it's not
because you are going to have to depend on the diaspora who don't have a problem with putting their credit cards out there to pay. And so you have to go deep, you know, Canada, United States, England, I mean, Europe. That's where the bulk of your messages need to go to be able to be successful. And it can be, but you have to have the right. Yeah, remember now, the diaspora is not just Florida. The diaspora is not just New York. It's not just London or Canada. It's all of those put together. And there are Jamaicans in every corner of the earth. So your relationship that you want to build, it can't be just with one person or one organization because they only have their local spots. All right?
Yeah,
So make sure that you find somewhere that can give you broad focus, okay? Very, very important.
There's something about that broad spectrum approach.
Yes.
You try to encompass and include everybody.
Yes.
Expensive.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, man. Yes.
When you come on for the show, talk to me.
No, Leo, you'll be amazed.
We have a question. We have a question.
Okay.
Mr. Dawkins, you said that the creative arts, the creative industry going online now. So this is the start of what we should look forward to for the rest of the year until it opens up?
Yeah, for the most part, until we can face-to-face again.
All right.
Until we can face-to-face again.
Okay.
So hold on there. Let me ask you this. The actors, they're all going to be in their own...
No, man, no. We shoot it. We shoot it in a controlled environment, and then we
Lord have mercy.
So when you see it, you get it as live.
Okay. I see.
Well, that some of us are doing it.
Because me and Nadine are good actors, you know. We could do a piece right here, and it would be successful too.
But that's what most people do.
You know Nadine very good.
Most people just going on YouTube and just doing them things now and getting a YouTube paying them.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, within the whole setup of this COVID thing, there are a number of opportunities that if you open your mind, you can actually may even find that you're in a little better position than first time face-to-face, you know, because there's a limited audience. When I have a full house at the little theater, it's 150 people, you know. The other day when that big reggae show with the master himself, it was at one point when I look, it was 105,000 people.
Yeah, on one of the streams.
On one of the streams.
Because I checked one other another space on YouTube, on Facebook, and it had 35,000, and one had 20,000. So overall, we were looking at close to 170,000 people who are tuning in.
Let me ask
honestly tell you one of the problems.
Streams are just one stream. Sorry.
They're different streams. They send it out to different streams.
They maybe have one one uplink, but it
Yes.
goes to all the
But it
different.
goes to different places, yes.
Yeah, the truth is, Leo, I'm finding out that when you're doing an event that is free, is a whole different ball game than when you bring in the e-commerce.
Oh, we know that. We all know that.
E-commerce makes life, you're dealing now with banks and credit cards and people from all over the world and people, different currencies. And I'm telling you, Leo, it's a nightmare.
Oh, I know, man.
A nightmare.
I know.
We can't play dead. We have to just do what we have to do.
You have to. Even if $1 you're making, it really matters seriously.
Yeah. Even if you have to lose, set up the infrastructure, you'll get better the next time.
Get better the next time. Nadine, you're actually sinking, right? Yeah. And so I want to, at this point in time, take some last thoughts, right?
Well, piggybacking on what Basil just said, you can't lay down and play dead. And if COVID has shown us anything, is something that we as Jamaicans always knew, that we know how to turn our hands and make fashion. so
Or flan.
Yes.
Jesus, peace.
So it is that we have to contemplate those things that we perhaps always just took for granted. Certainly in the legal sphere, we always figured, oh, we're always going to have to be in a courtroom setting. That has been thrown out the window. People are recognizing now that we don't all have to be in the same room at the same time for there to be, for things to get done, for us to do what we have to do. And it's working out in practically every sphere. I would love to see what Basil's performance looks like, because I have been seeing a number of musical pieces where people are in their different locations all over the world, and they're working together as an orchestra. So I am quite intrigued by what he has just said. But I think my last word really would just be that we as Jamaicans, we know how to turn our hand, make fashion, and we're resilient, and we will continue to be so.
Basil, you didn't tell us what is on the 3rd. What is on the 3rd? You only said there's something coming out. Tell us exactly what's coming out on the 3rd.
What happened on March? I was running a very successful play, Once a Man, Twice a Wife, that starred Earl Brown, Patricia Morris, and Karen Harriott. Was doing very, very well when we had to close down. So I decided to put it in a digital form and present it for all those people in the diaspora and everybody who cussed me and said they never see it and so on. They'll get a chance to see it, and other people will get a chance to see it. And we think we'll build an infrastructure. And for information, all people need to do is to go to BasilDawkinsProductions.com, and all the information is there. Everything
okay, so here's something that here's something that okay, so you're not gonna let it out there in La La Land, but it's gonna be on a particular platform.
Honestly, we don't know. We are learn and grow and learn and correct as we go along and see what we don't know.
because once you let it, the point I'm trying to make here now is that once you release it, it's going to be recorded.
I know, but
it's going to be recorded by somebody or some people, and then it's going to become, you're not going to make any more money off it anymore after the first go around. So you have to make sure.
Let me tell you something, Leo. If you ever think about those things, you don't do anything. You hear me? Like, for example, I remember one of my colleague producers, he told me he did an event in Christmas and was warning me. And he said, Basil, I never lose so much money in my life. Everybody in New York put up big screen around at the back of them house, them charge money, and then give people them a barbecue chicken and thing, and them sell it, and them just make money. Them pay me $9.99, and them sell them tickets for how much? And 60 and 70 people come around at the back of them house. But if you think about those things, you're going to say you're not doing anything. People, when people buy a ticket, Is the whole household going watch it? Or
Yeah,
their friends
yeah.
going come over and
Yeah.
you can't do anything. There are certain things you just move along.
Let's do
You
it.
know, you just move along because
All right. So what's your give me your flan thought now, please.
what is flan talk?
You wonder we start talking about earlier on. Just wrap it up.
Yeah, that flan is a situation where somebody say it better we do something more than not do nothing. So make we put on the aisle, make we rub up the flour and put it on and see if like a saltfish will come before it. If the saltfish come, we enjoy the benefits of the saltfish. If the saltfish no come, we eat the flour, tell God say we have flour and move right along.
A belly full still,
Belly
dog.
full still. Drink plenty water.
Exactly. Exactly. Make sure you put plenty salt
Yes.
in there so you drink water all day.
I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much. I had so much fun today. Nadine, you know the thing I like with you, I think you need to have a permanent spot on the show because you bring the facts. You know, rather than having Dianne just go off on her own tangent every time, you know, what you do, you straighten her out, you know. And so I'd love for you to have that permanent spot on this show. And Basil, let me tell you, or Basil or Basil, or whatever the hell they call you.
Whatever.
Please, we welcome you to come back to this spot at any time because we love your point of view. So
definitely passes my time.
Yeah, man.
It was fun. This was unexpected fun.
So please come back. And Dianna was gonna call you and say, Basil, you only have 1 hour. Go and go dress and come. Okay? I know that's what happened to Nadine this morning. Her friend texted her and said, go and go get dressed and come on the show.
The thing is, Leo, permit me to say this. I know Dianna a long time, but I'm meeting Nadine for the first time. I find out that she has had a legal practice. One of the things I admire about this lawyer, Nadine, is that other lawyers, they have a tendency to say, on the one hand, if you do then on the other hand, so them can't lose. On the other hand, they're not giving you no.
What she has done, she's now fling in
a country.
Right.
Don't know what to do.
Right. She says, I'm not going to guess and spell. I'm going to go directly to the law. Yeah. That's all she does. And that's what we like, right? Yeah. Because I am going to fly my mouth. Dianna go fly her mouth. And Michelle I go fly her mouth. But we can always depend on Nadine to straighten we out in time it comes. Right, Nadine?
I try. I will try.
You'll succeed.
Ladies and gentlemen out there in La La Land, thank you so much on Facebook and everywhere else. We appreciate you being here with us today, sharing the show. And I do appreciate Nadine and Basil on the show today. Dianna, thank you so much again. And we'll see you again Tuesday evening. We'll be back here right at 9 o'clock.
Yes, right? Absolutely. Take care, guys.
You get to say no closing word.
I forgot. Oh, you know, please close it out for us. Me won't even say anything else. I am going to mute myself now.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was such a pleasure. Basil, thanks for coming. Nadine, you're spot on as ever, and you keep Leo on the straight and narrow. It's not me. You might come and talk about me. I think we keep on the straight and narrow. And I want to thank all my friends, Mrs. Redwood, for watching. Pat Beecher, all these older Jamaican women who are such fine examples of what it is to be woman, particularly in this month as we celebrate women. Alone, hope and get better. Donna, sorry, couldn't miss you. And if anybody out there know Prime Minister Mia Mottley, we're inviting her to the show. Yes. Please ask her to come and join the show. I will send her the note. Just give me the number. Thank you all for joining. Well, good.
Hold on there. I still want Basil's thoughts on Women's Month, International Women's Month.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange thing because every day for me is International Women's Day. Every month.
I love this guy.
Woman too special for to have put number 1 month away. No, that is understanding the value of women. woman makes my world go round. And I celebrate the difference between myself and women.
Yes.
Oh, boy, that's nice. That's really nice.
So wonderful. So all
All
my
right.
ladies out there, thank you for joining. And all of the people them on Facebook and wherever else you are joining us. Such a pleasure. Look forward. Leo, thank you.
Take care.
Take
Bye-bye
care,
now.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.